president of Ukraine who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. You can beat President Putin. President Zelensky. I'm so focused on beating Putin, we got to worry about it. Anyway, Mr. President, I'm better. You are a hell of a lot better.
What concerns do you have about Vice President Harris's ability to beat Donald Trump if she were at the top of the ticket?
Look, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be Vice President. I think she was not qualified to be President. So let's start there.
What concerns do you have about Vice President Harris's ability to beat Donald Trump if she were at the top of the ticket?
Look, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be Vice President. I think she was not qualified to be President.
Yeah, Babylon is a shit show right now. Ooh-wee. First and foremost, start by giving all the praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rechak Wadash. Double honor to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect tabernacle of David scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. And as you can see, this campaign run, it being so-called election year, this shit is a mess. And this dude, Biden, he don't know whether he's coming or going. He's, at any moment, he can make that transition back to the upper room. He's losing his head. And that's not a good look. But he's who's over the country right now. As he's running it into the ground, and under his oversight, you seeing all the chaos, just ascending over all these major cities in Babylon. Homeless crisis, migrant crisis, crime skyrocketing, a lot of homelessness, homeless encampments, a lot of people on drugs. It's just a mess right now. And you got to choose between that guy or the other guy. All right, the proud orange toupee wearing apprentice actor. And then Kamala, you could just forget it. But this is how you know Babylon is pretty much finished. All right, let me start off with the scripture y'all already know, and then I'm gonna get into this article, because there's no more American dream. Really, it never was, but it's quite more evident now than ever. Okay, America is through. It's not gonna be what it used to be. There's no bouncing back. This is Jeremiah 51:8, and it says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so be she may be healed. Who would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and it is lifted up even to the skies. Meaning the iniquities, the sins, they're just abounding. It's excessive. The Lord is he's operating on this place. And right now the people are feeling the birth pains, but a lot of people are still blinded in their pride and their pleasures that they can't perceive their reality. But eventually it's going to hit them. All right, because the inflation is going to continue to skyrocket. Your debt is still trillions in the hole. More countries are still following the trend to dump the dollar, the U.S. petro, joining the BRICS. You got all type of things going on, and it's why we have to keep our heads on a shrivel, and stay focused. Keep our eyes single on the mission. All right. There's nothing here. We got to be ready to be as pilgrims on the earth. Have the mindset that you could possibly lose the things that you possess right now. Because this is all temporary anyway. The Lord's getting ready to wipe this place out. But it's good to see the Lord doing what he's doing. Now, going back to Biden, all right, you just saw in two different instances this the past day or two, this dude is losing his faculties, man. You know, he introduces Zelensky as a Putin, right? How could you make that mistake, right? And then he was asked about Kamala, the vice president, and referred to her as Donald Trump. So he's losing his head, man. And that same man is who's still ruling over you. All right, via the elites that put him in that position. So what I'm gonna do is I want to get this script. I want to go to Second Esdras 5, Second Esdras. Go to Second Esdras 9. This is in the CEB. I'm looking for the GNT. Hold on. There we go. Let me go to the GNT real quick. Good News Translation. And then the point is at verse 3, but I'm going to start at the top. Second Esdras 9:1. It says, he answered me, measure carefully within yourself, and when you see that a certain part of the signs that were predicted have passed, then you will understand that the time has come in which the Most High will begin to visit the world that he made. When a movement of places, tumults of peoples, plotting of nations, inconstancy of leaders, and confusion of princes appear in the world, then you will understand that it was about these things that the Most High spake or spoke from the former days, from the beginning. And that was still the common English. Hold on. I meant to go to the Good News. Okay, hold up. All right, here we go. So it was on Bible Hub. All right, Second Esdras 9:1. It says, he answered, consider all these things very carefully. When you see that some of the signs I have told you have appeared, you will know that the time has come when the Most High will begin. It's like it will bring judgment on the world he has created. There will be earthquakes, national rebellions, international intrigues, unstable leaders. And Biden is clearly unstable. All right, he don't know if he's gonna fall asleep on you. He doesn't know where he's at. You know what I mean? And it's amazing that he's still in position. You know, he should have been taken down. And me personally, I don't even think that's the real Biden. I think the real one, you know, they swapped him out. Something happened. All right, he's no longer here. So they got this dude, you know, who's been acting this whole time, and he's just malfunctioning. And that's a damn shame, you know. But that's who you got. And then you got to pick from him for another 4 years, or the other guy that you hated right before him. Right? The shit is all a shit show. All right, and the conditions of Babylon is you know, neither one of them is for the job because they're not going to be able to do a damn thing, but make things worse because it's going to cost more money, and the more you keep spending, the more unstable your economy is going to be. And that's what got these people in the quagmire as we speak. All that spending, given to all these initiatives worldwide, funding the military, funding Ukraine, funding Israel, these proxy wars. And now you can't afford to keep up with your utilities. You got ALICE. Look up that acronym ALICE and what that means. That the number of people representing ALICE is the rates is increasing drastically. So America is becoming, even though it's a first world nation, but the conditions is becoming third world. It's having third world problems. It's descending into third world conditions, especially with the homeless crisis and the migrants coming in, and then all these cities out of control. Okay, and I wouldn't be surprised if they pull something and a crisis happens right before the election to maybe suspend it, stop it, try to we don't know, but they can pull anything right now because they even have a slogan amongst themselves: never let a good crisis go to waste. And it'll be the ultimate solution to put everybody in subjection, under control. And what are the main devices that they're going to come with? You already know the MOT to the B. We need to track everybody and everything. It's too chaotic. Too much happening, too much going on. Everything is out of control. You see how niggas is operating in these major cities, especially these Democratic ran cities, out there looting and ransacking convenience stores, shopping malls, jewelry stores. People getting robbed in broad day. Restaurants. So this is all a result of the rulerships, okay? And that's how they're gonna try to implement order. This is order out of chaos. It says unstable leaders and confused rulers. When you see these things happening, you will know that they are what the Most High has spoken about since the beginning of creation. The beginning and the end of everything that happens in the world are clear. All right? And it is clear. Everything is crystal clear. It's being made manifest. The same is true in the world above. Wonders and miracles show the beginning of events, and mighty signs show when they end. All right? So, that leads me to this right here. This is an article posted a few days ago. Authorities are literally losing control of the streets of America's societal collapse accelerates. And this is what, we got to deal with here. But remember that the attitude that America once had, like people act like this place was paved with gold. There's a land of the free, land of opportunity. You could do what you want in America. That's why the nations were sold off that Babylonian wine, the democracy. And, she was a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all these nations drunken. They came over here and they committed fornication, drunk the juice. And now, they started to sober up a little bit and they seeing what's going on. This ain't, she ain't as attractive as you thought she was. She made you drink, and when you drink, that don't make even an average chick look good to you when you super intoxicated. So America is now a nightmare. All right. It says in a civilized society, authorities are able to maintain at least a basic level of law and order in the streets most of the time. Unfortunately, At this point, it is up for debate whether the United States is still a civilized society or not. It's never been a civilized society, man. All right. The moment you legalize same sex unions, parades, where you got grown adults walking the streets butt ass naked, where there's children, it's definitely not a civilized society. All right, people walking around bloated, overweight, sickly. You know, it's not civilized. And ultimately, that goes back to the leadership, like I said. And he shows you that he's a degenerate, and this is what happens when he's in power. The wicked walk on every side when the violent man is exalted. Sirach 10 and verse 1, it says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. And that government ain't well ordered. They all divided, all right, within the government. And, you know, we know what the Lord said, a kingdom divided against itself cannot stand. You know, it's a possibility of a civil war happening over this whole situation with Biden and Trump or whatever. Okay, so Esau's he's plummeting. All right, it says, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. And them democratic governors and mayors in these cities, they you know, they're lawless, because, you know, they push liberalism. You know, that's part of their democracy. You could do what you want to do. Well, in them cities, niggas are doing what they want to do, and now it's out of control. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. You know, and it tells you that in Daniel, that the Lord, he ruleth in the kingdom of men and set up over it whom he will, even the bases of men. And Esau, he's that base man that's sitting on the power seat. So that's why everything is in shambles. Okay, this is why, man. And right after this is going to be a righteous government upon the shoulders of Yahushua that's going to be established in the earth, and that's going to change the whole standard. But first, everybody got to get they got to get the fear of the Most High put into them first. So that's why the Lord's going to come and he's going to whoop feet. He's going to come and judge and make war, and that's what's going to set everything back in its rightful order. Because everything is out of order. Everything is chaotic right now. Okay? So, going back to the article, I'm not going to read this whole thing. It says, the chaos in our streets never seem to end, and those that are in charge of running things don't seem to be able to regain control. Yeah, because you got unstable rulers and leaders. You know, a lot of them were put in position by the elites because they wanted the chaos to begin with. That way they can implement their control system, all right, of tyranny, turning this place into a dystopia. It says the death, violence, and mayhem that we are witnessing in our major cities is being fueled by the worst homelessness crisis in our entire history. Yeah, and then with a lot more businesses going belly up and more layoffs, more people getting fired. So there's more people out of work, so they can't even take care of themselves. What do you think people are going to do? They're going to get desperate. There's going to be sedition, all right? So we're going to eventually be literally seeing 2nd Esdras 15 play out right in front of our very eyes. Okay, it's gonna get ugly. They're gonna take matters into their own hands. You know, they're not gonna care for their kings nor princes. It says the worst drug crisis in our entire history and the worst migration crisis in our entire history. If authorities cannot control our streets now, what is going to happen once our societal collapse reaches a much more advanced stage? Yeah, like when the food even gets even more expensive, when you know the supply chain, because your your fields and all the regions in the country that's responsible for growing your food is getting demolished by all this extreme weather, all these tornadoes, and you just had Hurricane Beryl smack through. You got all these wildfires. You got droughts going on, heat waves. You know, we went through a crazy heat wave this week, and we still in the midst of it. All right, it's been for the consecutive 2 to 3 days. It's been 120 plus degrees here, so that's bad for our water system. So the collapse is already happening, and it's only going to worsen, which the Lord already said would happen to the foundation of Egypt. Let's go to 2 Ezra 15. And I'm going to start at verse 10. It says, Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before. And it's getting hit with all kind of plagues, man. You got the cicadas coming out. All this extreme weather, of course. You got all these viruses, these virulent diseases going forward. You got the West Nile dengue virus hitting people. There's like a fever. A few people dying from it already. You got the avian bird flu. So you got all these different things that are constantly happening. And the Lord said that there will be earthquakes, there would be famines, and there would be pestilences. So he's hitting this place. It says, as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. And that's what he's doing. He's smiting this place with all kind of plagues and punishments. And it's affecting your society. It's leading to a societal collapse and also an economic collapse. Because where they're going to come up with the money to repair all these damages? They're skipping over that and still sending money overseas. So this country ain't finna get cleaned up no time soon. So this is what's going on, man. And this right here is about a family who moved into their dream home in New Hampshire, and now it's become a dystopia where they live at. All right, it's now filled with violence and homeless encampments and gunshots, screams, and just in their backyard. All right, but I'm gonna skip over it. And then it talks about the violence in Chicago. We already know that situation. It's out of control. It says, all over this country, the police are completely and utterly overwhelmed by the tsunami of lawlessness that we are witnessing all around us. Yeah, the Lord said it, iniquity shall abound, and the love of many shall wax cold. And iniquity meaning lawlessness. The laws are slack and it doesn't go forth. Therefore, wrong judgment proceeds. These laws that these Democrats had passed is pretty much for lawlessness. Giving you slap on the wrist for certain crimes committed. So they like, oh, okay, well, shit. That's why these niggas are just running wild. All right, street vendors. So it's not even safe to you can't even be a delivery driver in certain areas. says they are massively outnumbered by the lawbreakers, and the lawbreakers are becoming increasingly bold. In some of our major cities, things have gotten so bad that lawbreakers brazenly take over entire streets on a regular basis. In Los Angeles, one of the street takeovers recently added with a blazing inferno. More than 50 cars were involved in a street takeover in downtown LA early Saturday as some went up in flames, according to the Los Angeles Police Department. Video shows a car completely engulfed by a fire sitting in the middle of an intersection as a thick black cloud of smoke rises from the vehicle. Other cars can be seen as they try to drive around the inferno. Yeah. So they setting random cars on fire, and some of them might be actually migrants that's doing that. These people that they letting into the country. So this finna get bad, man. Okay. Armed guards on food trucks. So when it gets to that point, when they have to resort to doing that, it's over, man.
A new crime concern popping up in the South Bay. Delivery drivers say they're increasingly worried about becoming targets. It's happening often enough that at least one company is now hiring armed guards to escort their drivers. Maybe in Trujillo, in downtown San Jose, with a story you'll see only on NBC Bay Area.
It's just starting to become like GTA, man. Literally, like it's becoming like Grand Theft Auto in these major cities, man. LA, Chicago, parts of NY. It's getting crazy, man. And some of it is seeping from LA to out here in Vegas. Vegas is completely different now than what it was 10 years ago.
One of those escorted delivery drivers spent part of his day here at the 7-Eleven on 3rd and San Fernando. And at least one retired San Jose police officer says he's not surprised.
The Bay is a mess. The Bay is a straight up mess, man. It's a super dystopia. Like, who would want to live there? It's ridiculously expensive to even live there, and then if you gonna live there, you gotta deal with the crime element. Come on, man.
Not surprised. Many call them the lifeline of the American economy. Truck drivers, including those who deliver merchandise to convenience stores, often early in the morning. But a clerk at the downtown San Jose 7-Eleven was surprised to see this recently. A delivery company called Core-Mart providing an armed guard with its truck and driver. Gurdev Singh says, unfortunately, he understands why.
We're facing so many problems just because of the crazy guys. Now they are good at all. Here in downtown San Jose, a lot of crazy people hanging all the time. So better they hire a guard.
We reached out to Core-Mart's parent company, but they declined to explain why they're now providing the guards. San Jose police say they saw a slight increase in the robbery of delivery trucks 2 years ago, but say they have not seen a spike lately. Flavio Lopez works for another delivery company and says he wishes he had a guard as well, or at least a second person to help him keep an eye on the merchandise. Lopez hasn't been robbed, but he has had his run-ins downtown.
They passed a pallet just like this. It was stacking, so we just came over and knocked it all over Starbucks glass. Had to pick it all up. And he just ran, so stuff you gotta do with downtown. It is what it is, man.
Unfortunately, this is what society has become now, with armed guards guarding merchandise from the retailer, because there seems to be a sense of lawlessness in our society.
Daryl Cortez is a retired San Jose police officer who now works in corporate and retail security.
It's very unfortunate. You and I pay for it. The consumer pays for it in the back end, because prices increase because the merchandise is going out the door, and no one is stopping the bad guys because of the threat of violence.
It's clear that not everyone is taking the extra precaution. We saw several delivery trucks today and none had a guard. But Cortez says if one company is doing it, others are likely considering it to keep their drivers and products from being targeted.
So Yeah, it's out of control. All right, and you think that old senile, creepy fellow, you think that he's gonna be able to take control? You see another 4 years with him, and then Trump talking about because he was bigging up law enforcement, saying that he wants to fund them so that they can get back to the way they used to be before the Democrats was defunding law enforcement. And, hey, he's gonna tighten. He get in there. He's gonna tighten shit very tight. All right, and he might be that cruel Lord spoken of in Isaiah the 19th chapter. All right, so yeah, man, this is but it's beautiful, man, because Babylon is on its way out, man. All right, this is a bitter place, bitter captivity here, man. So let me get Nahum. And I'm gonna read verse 5, and then I'm gonna jump down to 19. I'm gonna read it in the New American Standard Bible, and it says, "Behold, I'm against you, declares the Lord of armies, and I will lift up your skirts over your face, and show the nations your nakedness, and the kingdoms your shame." And everybody sees with Babylon. Now you're seeing a true Babylon. You lift up that skirt, and the smell is awful. And you're seeing all the cuts and bruises and wounds. You know, you see she's diseased up. She ain't this dime piece that she was displaying herself to be. Okay. John saw in the vision. You know, he was in admiration when he saw her. So she looked good in the vision, but that skirt got lifted up. You see that she ain't what she was cracked to be. We jump down to verse 19. It says, "There is no relief for your collapse. Your wound is incurable. All who hear about you will clap their hands over you. For upon whom has your evil not come continually?" So it's not going to be any relief at all. And right now, wickedness is increasing. And you're going to see incontinency all over the place and violence. People out of control. Men spying out on chicks in stores and getting off on them and taking off running. So yeah, it's bad, man. It's over with. Okay, and prepare for Jacob's trouble because it's coming. Prepare for the hour of temptation, the MOT to the B, because that's coming. So with that, let me give all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Shalom.